This is the brand new mahogany PARR Mule. I just want to say before I get into the few points I'm going to make about this guitar, this is a guitar I did pay for. I reached out to Matt a few months ago and I asked, would you ever be interested in building a wood-bodied guitar? He said, we're already on it. So I put my deposit down. So everything I say here is just based on my own opinion about a guitar I own. This is, as I said, all mahogany. It is a tri-cone in a single cone cover plate, which is kind of what Mule is known for, at least in my opinion anyway, and what they do so wonderfully well. The two big differences that I want to talk about between this wood body and the metal body is, number one, the weight. The weight of a resonator is probably the number one complaint that I get from the older people that I work with. And this guitar will solve that right out of the gate. This is an extremely lightweight guitar, coming in at around 6 pounds. And I can lift my hands like this and it stays exactly where it is. It may give a little bit, but those of you who have the metal body ones, as soon as you lift up, they slip. They slip one way or the other immediately. So you're constantly trying to keep it on your lap. And if you have a strap, then it's constantly pulling down on your shoulder. And I know for some of the older people that are watching this, that has really had negative effects on your shoulder. It's extremely light. You notice it right away. It's very well balanced. The neck on here is the best neck out of any of the guitars I own, and I would say that out of all the Mules. Mules have the best necks out of any guitars I own. The other big difference is obviously the sound. This is leaning a little bit closer to almost more of that bluegrass sound rather than that big bark of the blues sound. The volume of this is definitely way less than you would have with the metal bodies. And it's very even between the low and the high. If you're expecting that real punch of sound, this does not do that. That might be a positive for you and that might be a negative for you. You might want a loud sound. But for those of you who, again, want a resonator, but you don't, the volume of it, you don't want it to be so loud because maybe you're playing in your living room or sitting on the couch. You want the sound of the resonator, but again, maybe you don't want the volume of the resonator. This is great because you don't have the volume. Now, I think that you would get that punch. I think you would get more of that volume if it was a single cone versus a tri-cone. If this could be a single cone, it would be just an amazing thing. And now I don't have a problem with the tri-cone. I think the tri-cone is great. But for me, if they could make this into a single cone, I think that for my ear, what I'm looking to hear as, I'm more of a blues-based player, this would be just a home run, no-brainer of a guitar if it was single cone. So Matt at Mule and the guys over there, if you can make that happen, great. And if not, again, it's such a fantastic guitar. I'm a real big proponent of not making the guitar be something it isn't, and not comparing this to something that it isn't. This is what this is. And that's one thing I really appreciate about Matt and Mule, is that they're not making instruments to compete against other instruments in the marketplace. They're coming up with ideas and they're just executing them, and they're making wonderful instruments. The craftsmanship on this is fantastic. When you have a metal-bodied guitar maker and then they decide to go, hey, we're going to make an acoustic guitar, you kind of go like, I wonder what the quality is going to be like, because they've got the metal body thing down. Well, they've got this down too. This is great. It's super well made. It is a fantastic guitar. And again, to me, it is a no-brainer for anyone looking for a resonator guitar, but they don't want the weight of a resonator guitar. So those are just a few of my thoughts about this guitar. Again, it's really centered around the weight, I think, is the biggest factor here for a pro category. The sound is definitely different. I would say that that's split between what you're expecting and what you're looking for. So that could go either way. That's a pro or a con, depending on where you are. The price points are going to be pretty much the same from what I've asked Mule. They said they're going to be about the same price between the wood body and the metal body. And that's really where your deciding factor is going to come into play, is do you want to put the money down and get the punchier, louder, but significantly heavier instrument? Or do you want a little bit mellower sound, lower volume, and an extremely lightweight instrument? That's really the deciding factor here, and I just wanted to put that forth here in this video. I think this is a great guitar. I'm super happy with my purchase. I don't regret buying it, and I don't regret having it in my collection, and I know I'm going to use it. I've played it nearly every day since I've gotten it, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I'm going to take you out with a little bit more playing. The first few clips were me playing slide guitar. I'm going to have it in standard tuning so you get a feel for what it sounds like in standard tuning. All right, take care.